My mom's such a big fan of the show. She called me the other day and she was like, "Hey, great episode." She's like, "But you told that story about being stoned when I called and I didn't know you were stoned."
So now you know.
I'm like, "Ooh, well."
I was wondering how she'd take that episode.
Yeah. All right.
I love these cold opens. We're just going to roll with them.
All right, guys. So let's talk about our neighbors, the Dakotas. North Dakota and South Dakota both were voting on legalization. The Dakotas have voted before on whether they should legalize cannabis. This time, it did not pass. Now, North Dakota was voting on initiated measure 5. South Dakota was initiated measure 29. Neither of them made it across the finish line with enough to pass. Neither of them were even really that close. 45%? Not good. Not good. Losing by a 10% margin is tough for 2024 just to legalize adult use cannabis. It's not even something that's that crazy.
I mean, do you think the states surrounding Minnesota are going to legalize cannabis in the next decade?
Yes.
All right, so who do we have left? We got Iowa, we got Wisconsin, we got all
and the Dakotas.
the
Yeah, it's literally all.
All right,
yeah.
all of them.
Shout out Canada.
Shout out to Canada, our cool neighbor.
No.
I think I could see Wisconsin moving forward over the next decade. Yeah. I could see
Iowa before the Dakotas.
Wow.
Honestly.
All right. I was going to go the opposite direction.
Dude,
but
I think the old people are just going to come around.
Okay.
And they're going to be like, you know what? Minnesota didn't burn over in a cloud of weed. So.
Yeah. Well, and let's be real. Like, I don't mean to sound morbid when I say this, but 10 years from now, we're going to have different voters than we do today. We will have 10 years of people that don't like cannabis policy.
All the people
dying
who
off.
live in the Dakotas live within like 90. No, is it 90?
They live
it's less than that, I think.
super
They
close
all
to
live on Minnesota. Yeah.
Yep, right along that border.
I think there's more Minnesotans living west of the Minnesota border than like North or South Dakotans or something.
Yeah.
Because we have a little bump
A little
out
bit
there.
of the tip. Yeah, I saw that on
It's
Reddit.
crazy.
Sure. Shout out to Moorhead,
Woo.
favorite city right on the border.
Shout out the Dragons.
Shout out
Moorhead
to-
State. Yeah.
There we go. I was disappointed to see both of the Dakotas not really move forward with adult use legalization.
No.
Obviously, it means more time for us to sell cannabis to them, but man, tough that the Dakotas are going to
Shops
be.
in Fargo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Definitely would love to open a dispensary in a border town. Not the worst
We
way
have
to spend
quite
money.
a few. This
We
like
do,
East
yeah.
Grand Forks is right on the border. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and with North Dakota and South Dakota both voting down, we've got a number right along that border with both of them that now have a good opportunity to keep selling cannabis whenever those shops end up opening. All right, well, let's talk about the one ballot measure that did pass related to legalizing cannabis, and that is in the great state of Nebraska.
Shout out.
Now, not adult use cannabis.
You think
Still-
Nebraska is a great state?
Well,
Have
Well,
you been there?
many
Tell
times.
us about it,
Okay.
Marcus.
I've driven through it many times. Have you spent a lot of time in Nebraska?
I mean, I've driven through.
There we go. I think that's all we really need to say. I've never been in a state that smelled more like manure. Is that one thing that we can? All right, let's talk about the
Tell
cannabis
that
stuff,
to Tim
though.
Walls, yeah.
Shout out to
No
home
offense.
state
I mean,
Nebraska.
Omaha is okay.
All right, Nebraska passed a ballot measure 437, that legalized medical cannabis. So now people can get a recommendation from their healthcare provider. They can have up to 5 ounces of cannabis, and they're going to create a system for manufacturing and distributing medical cannabis in Nebraska, making them
140 grams,
39.
approximately.
39 states.
It's
will now have
awesome
medical cannabis.
that they're starting out with flower from the jump, something we did not do here.
No, I know. It's crazy to think that Minnesota's medical program was more restrictive than it started out than Nebraska's will be. But here we are.
Yeah, honestly,
mean-
not that surprising.
They're right next to Colorado. You know, on the west side.
Dude, they are literally the highway, no pun intended,
Yeah.
between like other people and going to Colorado.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people
And if I
driving
recall
through
correctly,
Nebraska with
Nebraska and Kansas were part of a lawsuit against Colorado in the early days of legalization, saying that we've had to spend so much more money on enforcement.
Extra patrols,
because
dude.
Colorado went and legalized cannabis. No.
I know a guy who got stopped in Nebraska.
Not the
And
place you want to get stopped.
Dude, oh my God. The cop only found some stuff, cannabis, and he just got rid of the rest of it because he was so scared he would be stopped again.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah, for real.
what?
We obviously don't recommend driving across state borders. We're not encouraging
Oh,
people to
no,
break the
don't
law,
do it.
all that stuff. But I've heard of people driving from Cali to Minnesota and having to decide what route do you take. And the one through Nebraska would be the quickest. But the laws are so stringent. Do you want to get caught
That's-
there? Or do you take the longer route that goes through a couple more states, but states that are just maybe a bit more friendly on
Montana's chilling.
the big side?
Montana is
pretty
legal.
chill.
you know.
Yep. Yeah. The
A
big
lot of
chill.
people talked about
The big chill.
Idaho too. It's a much smaller state, but that's another state people didn't like driving through.
Yeah, because Idaho was one of the few states that even CBD was illegal. Like
Oh my God.
crazy
Yeah.
laws in Idaho. So definitely don't want to get caught there.
Idaho and you the pimp.
Well, so with these ballot measures, we've now got 24 adult use states, 39 medical states. We're
You're
a
the
mixed
majority.
country.
Tipping point.
Tipping point indeed.
Almost.
Well, so we've got a couple other measures that we just want to give a quick shout out to. They weren't direct legalization measures, but Oregon was voting on ensuring that cannabis businesses have labor peace agreements, allowing their employees to unionize if they want to. It wasn't something that was part of their original program, is part of Minnesota's program, and now will be part of Oregon's program. That passed 55 to 44. Dallas voted to decriminalize cannabis just within the city, just deprioritizing it for police. We know how city decrim works. It's not perfect, but voted 65 to 34.
Super
Shout out to
majority.
Texas. Could be a sleeper state. Maybe we'll see cannabis soon.
Hmm.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably just adult use.
They also do great with the hemp stuff
Oh,
over there,
a ton of hemp stuff.
down in Texas.
And then,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, I remember back when Colorado legalized adult use in 2014, and I went down there and I met this woman named Wanda James,
Shout out to Wanda James.
who is a great advocate for equity in the industry. But she had a brother who lived in Texas in the past, and this guy had spent 4 years in prison because he had got arrested with a quarter pound of flour,
Interesting.
and they made him do prison labor. Like this guy literally was picking cotton during our lifetime
Wow.
Wow.
through the Texas corrections shitstorm.
Yeah. I think we feel like a lot of that is so far in the past, but things like that and things like our election results are a good reminder that it's really not that far.
Constant
in the past.
reminder. Yeah.
Did you Simply Pure is a brand that I've seen it in states outside of Colorado.
Oh,
I'll be
she's
interested to see
expanding?
if she's looking to come to Minnesota as well.
Oh, something I heard on the news today was a bunch of people got text, a bunch of black people, including middle schoolers and high schoolers.
We were talking about that right before.
crazy
Yeah.
text, telling them, "Oh, the bus is gonna come pick you up to go pick cotton."
Just
Like
disgusting.
Wednesday, it was all over the country. I was like, "What?" Yeah, just I don't know. You saying that reminded me that there's a lot going on still in our lives that we just need to start paying attention to. Get offline, look around,
Yeah.
do something.
Did you guys see, and they're still counting ballots, but it looks like the state of California was going to vote to make slavery illegal in their constitution, and it did not pass.
Yeah, I saw a headline like that.
That's, the argument against that's just the smart alecky. Why do we need to make slavery illegal? Well, because
their
laws,
whole-
dude.
Well, and so the reason that currently the people didn't want to pass it is because if you get convicted of a crime, they can force you to work
They can make you work,
without
yeah.
getting paid.
They can make
This
you
would have
work.
changed that, and the majority of Californians.
But think about how expensive Levi's would be
Oh.
if our prisoners' dexterous hands were making them. Think about it, Tanner.
Man, I want to do a lot of hard. All right, so let's talk about Massachusetts.
Shout out Levi's.
Oh,
Shout out
damn.
to Levi. So we talked about this ballot measure, Marcus, when you were on the show in the past, that Massachusetts was looking to potentially legalize psychedelics, allowing there to be a system for people to possess, sell, process a variety of different psychedelics. It had looked like it was probably not going to pass with polling, and unfortunately, 57% of Massachusetts opted to not
I don't know how to say.
legalize psychedelics.
Shame on them.
Boring.
Missed opportunity.
Would have made Boston a lot more fun.
Would have made Boston so much more fun. I'm walking here. Is that a Boston thing? Or is that a New York
I think that's
thing?
New York.
Oh, shit.
I think specifically Brooklyn.
Dude,
Oh,
thank you.
Shoot.
They're
That's
all
from a
within
movie,
like
right?
a 45-minute drive of one another, so it's like it's so crazy going out there. Not to
I gotta
talk
get
about
out
geography, but like over here, that's like going to fucking Shakopee, and it's like New York City to Boston.
That's just for us.
It's
Just we're
that close?
45 minutes away from where we were.
Exactly. Yeah. Every drive here is 25, 45 minutes.
The last time I was in New York, it was for a Fish concert.
Imagine a Fish concert in Massachusetts with legalized psychedelics. Now they can't.
Can I tell you about going
Taking
to concerts
psychedelics at a
on
Fish
my-
concert? I've never done that before. Sorry, what were you saying, Marcus?
What?
The thing about taking mushrooms when you go to the concert is it's great during the performance, but like when the lights come on,
It gets weird.
yeah, or before the lights go off, you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
You see this mass of humanity, and it's like,
Yeah.
Should we? All right, this isn't a high note, but Marcus, do you have a good story of taking psychedelics for a concert and then like the lights come up and it's like, oh shit? Because I definitely do.
Yeah, like I went to the Dave Chappelle concert
Okay.
at the Excel Energy Center. It was phenomenal, but when they turned the lights on and I had to walk through the sea of people, it was just too much. Like I remember I shared this meme about choose your adventure, take some mushrooms and go walk around Walmart. That's what it felt like.
Incredible.
There was a time with Marcus where I had taken some mushrooms and forgotten, and we ended up at a grocery store. I was just so confused about why I was just like slowly like going about these. I had like no cart. Yeah, dude, I'm grabbing mangoes and just being like, what in the world? And then I was like, wait a second. We got back in the car and I was like, wait a second. And then you drove me around all day.
One time we had a bonfire and we had these exotic mushrooms. And then while we started peeking, everybody's face started looking pixelated. And that shit was intense.
This was all in Decrim, Minneapolis.
Bingo.
Yes, something you're missing out on, Massachusetts.
All right, here's my story. So I was at a Fish concert, as one does, in Chicago. Northernly Island, a beautiful venue if you ever get a chance. It's actually an island right next to Chicago. You can, that's sort of an island. You can walk there, or you can take a ferry there. And then you look out and you see all of Chicago. You get to see the lake right next to you. It's pretty fun. Maybe took some mushrooms, allegedly.
Maybe.
And
Maybe not.
what's weird about Fish concerts is that a lot of people are doing drugs there. And when I take
heard of
mushrooms, I don't really like feeling like I'm in like a drug den. And I'm cool with people like, definitely taking mushrooms around me. I'm cool with, people smoking weed. There's a lot of substances that I'm definitely cool with. I saw a couple of needles and I was like, ooh,
Inside a concert?
yeah.
They were shooting up?
Yeah, and I was like, this just
Damn.
doesn't feel like where
different kind of
I
party.
want to be. Now, here's the best part about Northernly Island is right outside of where you check in is the beach. And so you can leave the concert venue, go in the water of the lake, take off your socks, get in the water, and listen to the music because you can still hear it out there. And that, on mushrooms, really enjoyable experience. Highly recommend.
So, wow. That's intriguing.
That sounds nice.
I mean, did you see anybody doing the heroin knot? I'm not trying to like shame them, but were they nodding in the concert?
I believe so. Yeah. No, mind you, I was on mushrooms, but
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like safe space, but everyone's partying a little different.
and that's the thing is no judgment. Like I don't.
It's just
I just
no. Go ahead.
no. I just think like
I'm not trying to shit on him.
Yeah, well,
exactly. Though.
But
that's the vibe.
That's the
that's the vibe. Yeah,
everyone
it's like,
does their own thing. I'm cool with everyone having their own thing. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh man.
And then I got in an Uber, and the guy was telling me I was using the app wrong, and I like needed to accept the ride. And I'm like, man, I'm in your car right now. Like, there's nothing on my screen. Like, I don't know what you want me to press. He's like, oh, here, I'll do it for you. And I just handed him my phone.
Oh, no.
And he just got me to the hotel. Thankfully, I had my girlfriend with me at the time, but she was not sober, so that didn't really help. All right. Well, so coming back to the news, let's sort of put a bow on this. I mean, guys, what are your final thoughts just sort of sounding off on this? We don't have to hide the fact none of us are happy to have President-elect Trump be a phrase that we're going to be saying again. None of us are happy to have the DFL, how, they're not great, but they at least support cannabis more than the other guys. How do you guys feel that we now live in a time when that election just happened?
Well, I retired from politics last year, so I'm not going to pay attention for the next 4 years.
Okay.
I've been telling people to get offline, meet their neighbors, make friends, live healthy, and just honestly try not to care for 4 years. People lived through 1964 to 1968, 1968 to 1972. Things were as bad, if not worse, right? So, live your real life. Fucking don't die. 4 years.
I think I'm a little more afraid than I was a week ago, just in general. I feel like I haven't woken up out of the, upside down from Stranger Things. It just feels like kind of hazy and daisy and numb, but also rageful.
Yeah, I think it's similar to on a very different scale. After the poll came out that showed only 15% of Minnesotans consume cannabis, and I was like, holy shit, this changes my worldview. I live in a world where 100% of Minnesotans consume cannabis. And I know that that's not the reality, but that's the people that I surround myself with.
We're in bubbles, dude.
And I think I've been living hard in the Democrat, left-leaning, DFL, whatever you want to call it, bubble, that it reminds me of driving through rural Minnesota. And do you see some Harris signs? Sure, but not a lot. And that's the world. That's maybe not here in St. Paul or maybe my specific community, but man,
is America. America got exactly what they wanted with a popular mandate. So
yeah.
I mean, can I tell you something? I used to be involved with Democratic politics. I don't think I ever really identified as a Democrat, but I used to caucus in convention and stuff. I've been in the state convention a couple of times, and the last time I was there, it just felt like a me convention. I feel like everybody there, most of them, should have had a shirt that says me. I don't know.
I've been calling it the philosophy of prioritizing victimhood. Find where someone can feel some victimhood, and that's the lens they view everything through, and that's really detached from how people live.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of just weird policy. It's not thinking about policy of working families, and that's why Bernie Sanders almost took over their shit in 2016.
Yeah, totally. It's the, when you're a DFL door knocker and you go to someone's door.
Oh, I'm a DFL door knocker.
Yeah,
dude, that's the thing too. It's
the conversation that you have with someone isn't necessarily the, hey, what do you think about protecting abortion rights, or how do you feel about trans rights, which are important, but it's the, hey, do you want to make things cheaper in your life?
Broad policy.
Yeah. Hey, do you need to make sure that you're not going to lose your job because your company downsizes? Things that I think are the bread and butter of reality. They just didn't.
They've escaped a lot of DFL leadership, and they're gonna lose the majority outright unless they get back to that. Yeah. And I've been saying machine politics, guys. Show people exactly how politics helps their life. Maybe you'll win an election.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Or coast.
Yeah, it's another disaster, but. Hopefully
nothing living through two disasters.
Will wake up.
In a decade.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm, late 20s. I've been living in unprecedented times. my entire fucking life. And I just want some precedented times for a little bit. That'd be sort of chill.
It's like literally from 2001 to now. Unprecedented.
It all started with a blowjob in the Oval Office.
I swear. And the thing is, they were investigating a real estate deal. If you guys know anything about that impeachment, they were investigating a real estate deal. They happened to interview Monica Lewinsky. She happened to tell the truth because she's a good person. And here we are.
This is the worst timeline.
I mean, I'm
go back.
86 years old now. I don't give a fuck. You guys are fucked.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thank you, I guess.
Thank you, Marcus. Shout out to that guy right there. Well, so we're going to take a short break here. We're going to come back. We've got a new segment that we're going to be featuring on the in-between, Tanner's Terpene Tastings, where you guys are going to see me taste some terpenes, and who knows, maybe we'll bring some guests in every so often as well. But for right now, as you said, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to be sharing our high notes for the week. We've still got them, right?
We need like break music.
Yeah.
Like that. Like some Kenny G.
Ever felt like running a cannabis business means running in circles just to get basic banking? Union Bank and Trust gets it. They've been helping cannabis businesses for over 10 years, solving problems like securing accounts, managing cash flow, and navigating regulations. No more jumping through hoops, no more runarounds. Just straightforward banking solutions built on trust, integrity, and performance. That's unionbankandtrust.com.